to have a video on this. It's no longer up here, so I get asked all the time, how do you do blast beats? This is one of the simplest things you can do, but it takes a lot of work to get it to where it needs to be. So the blast beat, it's quite simple. For a one-footed blast beat, it's bass and ride or bass and hi-hat at the same time, hitting the snare in between. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I'll play that real quick. Now, one thing I like to do once I get up to higher speeds, just to conserve energy, is switch the feet. So be right, left, right, left. So basically, it sounds the exact same, but you're using 2 feet. So 1 foot and 2 feet. So, I mean, that's pretty simple for your standard blast speed. We'll play that a little bit faster now. Couple things to take note of. When you're playing fast like this, I'm going to do a hand speed exercise course soon. So hit the subscribe, like button, and then you'll catch it. But your fingers do not leave the stick. If you see, I see a lot of guys, myself, I used to do this a lot, pinkies out. It's because you're holding on with your thumb and your forefinger there, and you're not controlled. If you can, keep your fingers on the sticks, keep the pinkies in, it adds a lot of speed. So it's mostly wrist to get the power, and then your fingers are pulling at the same time. But what happens is when you hit the drum, the stick bounces up, and you're only pulling one way with your fingers. You're not actually opening them. It's just when you hit the drum, it's pushing your fingers up, and you're just close, close, close. It also feels like I'm using my thumb and fingers at the same time to get that snap. But I'll do that in a hand speed course later. That's just one way. So the main thing too is when you're practicing this, everyone wants to go as fast as they can right away. But if you think of a marathon runner, you don't just run out and run a 20K at a top speed, because you know what would happen if I did it? I would drop halfway down the block, probably into an ambulance. So what do you do to train that? You start, maybe you walk, maybe you jog for a while, walk, jog. Then finally when you can run, you're only doing short little bursts until you're full out running the whole thing. So maybe you can only go this fast. Maybe it's half of that. Just think, if you add 1 BPM per week, that's 50 BPM in a year. If you're at 100 BPM, I have no idea if that's 100, I just figured it's pretty close. And you did 50 BPM a year, you would be at, by the end of the year, 150. Not bad. Now you go one more year doing just 1 BPM a week, which for the first while you'll be able to do quite a bit more, but then you'll be at around 200. And at that point, that's where it gets tricky, Sometimes maybe it'll be a few weeks and you can only get a BPM. So another type of blast would be a closed blast. So basically, right, left, and foot all go at the same time. Or if you're switching your feet, right, left, right, left, right, left. I don't personally use that one as much, but I like to use it as an accent here and there. Another one, some people call this the cheater blast. I think it's fine, but it's half time on the left hand. So and then that one's a lot easier to play real fast because most people have a stronger right hand. I think it's fine. One thing that's cool about that one is if you build your left hand up, you can do the switch blast, which is switching back and forth. That one you can hit extreme speeds. There's a lot of tech death bands that are doing, 300 beats a minute, and because you're not burning out one arm. Another thing you can do is add 16th notes on the kick or heel toe over top of one of these. One exercise I usually do it on a practice pad, is set a metronome. I set it actually quite low, 170 through 190 maybe, and 10 minutes straight, single strokes. Your right hand kind of teaches your left, so if you notice your left hand's bouncing all over, slow it down, and just try and keep your fingers on the sticks. You can be sitting there watching TV, just 10 minutes straight. And if it doesn't burn at the end of it, you're too slow, and if you get a little bit sloppy is okay, if you have to just, push and bring it back. But if you're falling apart and have to stop, slow it down. And I bring that up, 1 BPM every couple of days. Bring it up, and next thing you know, your endurance is a lot better. Just, it's really annoying. I like to do it when no one's home if I'm watching TV. It also helps in your fills to get some power. Like if you're one of those people that, hammer your snare, and as you go around to your floor tom, you're still whipping with your fingers, pulling. You're not just lightly hitting them. So make every hit, even when you're in a groove. You can really generate a lot of power. If you like this video, it really helps out if you hit the subscribe or like underneath. It's pretty much the only recognition we get for making these things, so lets me know people are watching them. Feel free to comment. I usually reply pretty quick. We're going to go over some hand speed. I'm going to go over a few other cool techniques, keep working on the solo stuff, and yeah, basically I just get some requests here and there. Sometimes I will toss that in, do the odd product review. But I try and make videos that I think people want to see. I'm not going to give you a bunch of obscure rudiments that there's really, in my opinion, not a lot of point in learning, other than the fact that it may make you tighter and stuff. But for right now, let's just learn the fun stuff. So if you're just starting to play some extreme death metal, tech death, maybe a little black metal, that never hurt. Hopefully that helps you out. Get blasting. And lastly, I forgot to say, don't expect progress overnight. Like I said, add a BPM a week or whatever. If you're just starting out, you can usually go a little more because you get those beginner gains, and it's at a lower BPM, it's easier. But if you're already, 190, 200, 210, 220, it takes a long time to gain that extra bit. So take your time. It's not a race, and you'll be blasting in no time. Join a band. That's a good way to build your endurance. Jam along to songs, whatever. But definitely set a metronome, set a timer. Have a great day. See you guys later.